Hi everybody, this is Janine's gluten-free kitchen and welcome all you gluten-free cooks out there. We have another awesome recipe in store for you. If you're new to the channel though, please subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos. And if you've always been watching us since however long it's been, welcome back. Today we are making a glorious old-fashioned recipe, sticky date pudding with caramel sauce. Yum! Actually, it never dates. It's a favorite for a reason. So stick around and we'll show you how to make it. So the first part of this recipe is making the sticky date pudding or cake. And what we're doing is making a butter and sugar mix. We're using almond flour and soaked dates. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is cream our non-dairy butter in the mixer. And you could certainly do this with a handheld mixer and some coconut sugar. Now you could probably use any sugar, but I probably would stay away from liquids. It needs to be a granulated sugar because we want to cream the butter with the sugar and you can't do that with a liquid. So, well, actually, is that true? You might be able to do it, just wouldn't be quite the same. Alrighty. Start on nice and slow. And when you're sure it's not going to flick up everywhere, get it up to high. Once you're happy with your butter and sugar creamed, we're going to add the eggs one at a time. All right, so that's done. Now, little tip for you guys. We bought this beautiful bowl because we wanted you to see through the glass to make it a whole experience while you watch the video. Except what we're realizing now is it's way too big for what we need at the moment, so it's not mixing very well. So when you make it at home, make sure you get a nice small bowl to do your mixing or do it with a handheld beater and a smaller bowl. Little tip for you. All right. So let's go to the next bit, and what we've got here, the main ingredient is our dates. Now I've used some medjool dates, which are a little bit softer, but you can definitely use dry dates. And I've made sure that the pits are taken out because we don't want to be crunching on anything hard. And then cut them into little pieces and then soak them in boiling water until they're nice and soft. And this is what we've got, a little bit of a date and water slurry. So we're going to add that to our bowl. We're going to add our baking powder, which gives a nice good froth. Fantastic, and that's what you're looking for with a good, active, vibrant powder. It should froth up with the hot water. And our vanilla. All the ingredients and the quantities are below in the description. Mix that through. And then we're going to add our almond meal. Yum, the dates and the vanilla together smell amazing. Alrighty. Now, we're going to throw that into a big mixing bowl, which we can take and throw it all together. Yum. Give that a really good stir. And when you do the dates well, like if you've soaked them well and they're really nice and soft, they almost start to fall apart when you're mixing them in the batter, which is what you want. Great. Now I have my pan that I have very lightly oiled and put baking paper or parchment paper around so that it is non-stick. And now we're going to put our cake batter in the pan. You can see it's a pretty easy base cake. And here's a little tip for you whenever you're following a recipe. I highly recommend that you get all the ingredients out first, you weigh them all out, and you have them on hand ready to go. Qualified chefs call this mise en place. It's basically preparing everything. And that way when you go to actually assemble, it's a very easy process. And you don't forget anything or miss anything. Alrighty. Yum, yum, yum. Great. We are going to bake that now at 180 degrees. I'm going to pop that in the oven and I'll see you on the other side. Our cake is in the oven now, and while we're waiting for it to cook, we're going to make our caramel sauce. Now this is a vegan caramel sauce, so you can use it for anything else. Let's heat up our pan. First, I have some non-dairy butter or Nuttelex that I'm going to throw in. If you wanted to make this paleo, you could definitely use, well, actually, this is okay for paleo. It's not good for keto though. So we've got our butter in, got our coconut sugar. Let's throw that in as well. We want to melt them together. Make some music. Once your butter's melted, reduce that heat. You're not trying to boil it. You just want to melt at this point. Awesome, that's perfect. Now, coconut cream, not coconut milk, coconut cream. You need the fat to make this. And also low fat cream isn't going to work either. All right, give that a good stir. And we also, at the same time, want to put it in our vanilla. And that's the ingredients of our caramel sauce. Now, we're going to cook this for about 5 minutes. And we're not going to boil it. We're just going to do it at a very light simmer. And the cooking process will help reduce it and thicken it. All right guys, that's been cooking for a good 5 minutes and I can see that all the sugar's really well dissolved and it's come together beautifully. Do not be tempted to put your finger in it to have a taste at this point. It's caramel. It's going to be really hot. All right. I want to pour that into a jug so it can be ready for our cake. And if you're making this at home, you can definitely make this ahead of time and just heat it up in the microwave on low. though. Make sure it's on low and you don't overdo it. Yum, looks a bit like gravy. That's the coconut sugar because it's brown. That is our sauce ready to go. Now we just gotta wait for the cake. All right, guys, our cake is done. Just taking that out of the oven, but we're gonna let that cool down for not too long. This cake, pudding is always best served warm, but not so hot that you can't put it in your mouth. So just gonna give that for about 5 minutes to maybe 10 minutes, depends how hot your pan is, and then we'll come back. All right, guys, we've turned it out now, and I'm just gonna cut a couple of slices. You'll notice that this cake is a little bit flatter than some of the other high ones. If you want to get it nice and fluffy, I don't. I like it a bit flatter, but if you want to get it a bit higher, just use a smaller cake pan, like a 20 centimeter pan, and you'll be good to go. See, I like it like this. And then, of course, your scrumdiddly caramel sauce. Do not be tempted to overdo it, because it will just be a crazy sugar fest. Unless you want it that way. Yum. And there is our sticky date pudding with caramel sauce. You can choose to serve it with ice cream or cream. I don't think it needs it myself. I think it's delicious as it is. Oh my God, that's so good. That is so good. But it is sweet. It's so good. All right, get away from it. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this recipe. We've so enjoyed it. Hope you have too. And if you have, don't forget to hit the like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already done that, so you don't miss any future recipes, because they're so freaking awesome. See you next time. Bye. Yum. And I can't describe it. It's sticky date pudding with caramel sauce. How do you describe that? Installment and we look forward to it was an absolute pleasure. Pleasure. All right. God damn you. Go home already. You still here? Get out of here, kids. Scram.